Good evening, everyone. It's almost 7:05. I'll call the meeting to order. We are also shorthanded by two members. Member Cronin and Cleaver are not with us this evening. If anyone's recording this meeting, would they make it known? Thanks.
Charlie did not re-up either, right?
Right. What do you mean either?
Oh, sorry. There's a couple others.
You mean Mike didn't either?
No, Mike's all set. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have to discuss that a little later. Anyway, first up is a Form A and R lot off of Tyhonet Road, care of 80 Makepeace. How'd you get first up?
No idea. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members. My name is Jim Kane. I'm with the 80 Makepeace Company. With me this evening is
Say it again.
Dollar
General, do you have the ability to vote?
No, but we're going to, that's what we're going to discuss.
I don't vote.
Start. Thank you.
Could just give me a minute, we'll,
This is another solar field,
go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jim Kane with the 80 Makepeace Company. With me this evening is Richard Cirque, our counsel. This evening, we are before you to create the lot for the recently approved Tyhonet East Solar Field. We have successfully navigated the appeal process, so now we're coming in to create the lot, and then we'll move forward in requesting the Board of Selectmen to decline their rights under the chapter land status. And this is basically what we did, I recall, for Charlotte Furnace Road in a previous package.
Questions?
Is that Michael? I think so. Entertain a motion to endorse Form A,
I would.
medium, for parcel of land. Map 112, lot 1000.
You have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I think it's, map 111, lot 1000, but I'm not sure.
Also, it's delineated up here, I think. I think that is the, so I don't know which.
This is the limit.
Yeah.
But this,
So I don't know which it is. I didn't see it.
What was your question, Michael?
Mike had made a motion to accept it under map 112, lot 1000, but
got the wrong lot.
I'm not quite sure that that's accurate. Just would like that confirmed.
It's map 111,
Lot 1000,
right. Portion thereof.
yes. Thank you.
Will that need to be corrected?
Is it incorrectly stated on the?
It's stated on the Mylar as map 112. Surrounded by map 111.
It shows map 111, but then in the bordered area it
This is
shows.
it, this isn't here.
Right,
That's the piece.
right,
So it's in 111.
correct.
112 is here.
Is the Mylar different, Mr. Chairman, than the
No,
paper?
it's the same.
Yeah, but
That says remaining land of 80 Makepeace.
Yes.
It's a little confusing.
it's not clear to me that this may be map 1.
Well,
Right.
I will double check on that. And if there's to be a pending change, I will let Mr. Bichette know.
Okay.
the legend says map 111.
Yes.
And that is correct.
If the board is at all nervous, just say so and we'll redo it and come back.
Okay.
I think is the town gonna take the option of buy that land, Charlie? I mean, Alan?
We were just notified today, paperwork-wise, so I believe there's a 120-day period, which hopefully will not exercise that long. I believe the selectmen's policy is 30 days. We have to notify the land trust, CPC, the town planner, and one other people. They have 30 days to respond. If they don't respond positively, the town should do something at that point. It'd be a moot question. And I think if it's over a certain dollar value, isn't there an appraisal required for the dollar amount of the land also?
Yes, it is.
You need an airport.
We can make a nice correction.
Almost got one. So if you guys want something changed, just please say so and we'll redo it.
Mikey wants the drag strip down
It
the
is
middle.
referenced, it's just,
Yeah.
I think that
it's just a little,
this is map 112,
yes,
so I believe the plan is correct. This is
Yeah.
not parcel.
we're missing the arrow. You have an arrow on your plan and that's just missing on ours, so I think that's,
The locus, this
Right.
is the locus right
Yeah.
here, so.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine as is.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, I get you. I was looking at the,
There's a lot of detail in that map, that's why.
Yeah.
okay, it was a motion on the floor and a second.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained, that'd be
Do you need a pen?
300.
Mr. Chairman, do you need a pen?
If I could.
Can I have a receipt on that pen? Michael wants it back.
You got a string on it? We usually have one in the box, but it's easy to grab yours.
I'll just keep it. Did you get it from the town?
Sorry, Bob. Just the one is,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
there's the one that's. All folded up neatly? Thank you. Now, next on the agenda is the continued public hearing for S&H Realty. And does apply also to Dollar General also.
If you don't mind, I'd like to ask a question. Do you have the ability to vote tonight?
But that's what I was just getting to, because it affects both site plans before us. We don't. We're going to have to call a special meeting between now and the end of the month. And I was gonna, what's your availability?
I'm only in town until Wednesday night.
I'm only in town tonight for the sixth time.
The problem we have, I don't know if Charlie already missed one of your hearings.
Say again?
I think one of our members already missed one of your hearings and
Every
had,
time I've been here, it's been the same group of guys.
okay.
We haven't had a quorum
Mhm.
any of the last 6 meetings that I know. Is there any way you can do a proxy with the guys that aren't showing up?
Not that I know of. We are shorthanded, as you can see. We're short an associate member, and we'll soon be short a regular member. The regular member is what's critical at this point, because his term expires June 30th, and we have to get both of these site plans acted upon prior to that. And that's what we're going to strive to do. You're leaving Wednesday night, returning?
Not till the 3rd.
Well, in order to keep these alive, we're gonna have to see if Charlie will extend, even if it's just a month.
Can he hold his place if nobody applies?
That's generally what's been done.
I know his term technically expires June 30th.
I mean, I can meet between now and Wednesday, no problem.
Yeah, but we can't post a, we can't post a meeting between now and then. Our lovely open meeting law.
Can I vote from a remote location?
It's up to the
Yeah, we
chairman.
could do that if you have that set up.
The chairman has that.
I mean, I'll have a phone with me, I'm happy to call in, or whenever
think
you
they-
schedule the
I
meeting.
think people have to see if you have an iPhone or something.
Is there any way to get the missing member to call in tonight? Do him by the same deal that you're trying to set up?
I think there's still items to discuss with you before we vote.
I thought that we'd addressed everything. Certainly, we have proceeded in good faith and done everything that we've been asked to do. I think that we should be at the point to where it's ready to be approved.
Correct.
That's what I had anticipated tonight, that you would have addressed everything that was
Yes, sir.
brought up at the last meeting.
This cost me about $1,500 a pop to come up here and see you guys. I've been here 6 times. And I think that this has been delayed 60 days? At least. It's really starting to get into my pocketbook. I really do want to come to this town and build this retail store. I just need some help.
Let me, what's the process for?
It's up to the chairman. The chairman has the right to allow for remote participation.
But I mean, physically, is it speakerphone, or how do you accomplish that?
You do it through either, if you had a laptop, with Skype or something like that, or if you had Skype on the phone. In theory, you're supposed to be able to see the person as well as hear them, but you can do it by ear. Sorry, Bob, I was too far away. You can do it by Skype. You can also do it by, the iPhone or the iPad, which is called FaceTime. You probably can also do it by just the phone itself, as long as you identify who it is and stuff. But again, it's the chairman has to make the decision first whether to allow it or not. It's something that's available, but it's up to the chairman.
I don't have any problem doing it, I just want to execute it properly, and if we can do it over the phone,
Well, again, we allow for remote participation as long as they're not part of the required quorum. Is 4 considered the required quorum, or if he's not there, it doesn't have an issue?
what was the first part?
You can't count that person as part of the quorum. You have 3 out of 5 here. Does this require 4 in order for a quorum as far as the vote?
Yes.
But it doesn't require the meeting to have 4 to open the meeting, though. Meeting is only 3, correct?
So we could take testimony with him
Listening and everything else.
That's okay?
Yep. You can give them a call and try. If I had my iPad here, I could help you, but I don't have it today. I didn't bring it.
So we couldn't pull that off right now.
If you can get hold of Charlie, you can.
I thought you said he had to be present.
No, only 3 have to be present for quorum. You need 4 to vote for what you're doing. So he could count as the 4th, I believe.
Well, I think out of necessity and seeing that we've not had any real objection to either one of these plans, I don't see that
Let's give it a try.
it's not right to hold up people that,
Just so the audience understands, this is a new policy. It just came in recently because of quorum issues, etc. Under Mass state law, this usually cannot be done.
Hmm? Frustrating.
no, he's not able, he won't be back till July 3rd either, so we're going to have to see if we can extend his appointment and get this wrapped up.
We have a meeting at 5:30. There's a meeting at 5:30 tomorrow night for the appointing authority.
Yeah, I have that. I will ask Dollar General, all the issues are resolved with what went over last meeting? Everything's,
I believe we've got everything taken care of, yes.
mm-hmm.
Not
Charlie, have you-
according to the town engineer's report.
You should have a copy of my most recent letter. I don't know if David had a chance to copy all of it today.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Charlie?
I did send in a copy of a letter to David Pichette this morning, and I copied the applicant's engineer with the letter.
Mhm.
I'm satisfied with the plans that were done. There were a couple of things that were sort of left conditional, one of which was your approval of the facade of the building, the way it was presented with the bump out of the entrance. It was clarified that there is a raised sidewalk with the exception of at the entrance where the handicapped access is. So that has been taken care of. The issue with regard to that one island where we eliminated 2 parking spaces, we had some discussion about that. That was adjusted and moved over to where I recommended it should be. The fire lane that Charlie Kluber had requested is shown on the plans in front of the islands. And the plantings and everything that were on the original island in the front, I believe, are taken care of. You should have them on your plan. I did get a traffic or a truck turning movement template from the engineer showing that small triangular island at the corner of the building is needed for the turning movements that they produced. If that's the way it has to be, it has to be. If a shorter truck comes in there, they can clearly make it without it, but any box trailer that goes in probably is going to need that space in order to make a turn. Provided they're in there before the opening of the store and there's nobody parked in those spaces, it should work fine. The only thing that I suggested to your board in the letter I did put some recommended conditions that you may want to consider for your vote, in addition to the fact that I believe you need to make a vote on the facade of the building and be sure you're happy with that. With respect to other plan issues, I'm satisfied with that, and I'm recommending the approval of the plan subject to those conditions.
I think what we can do is we can vote to close the public hearing. If everybody's satisfied with,
Mr. Rowley, on the revised plans, I haven't seen them, but I saw your note, the landscaping has been put back with.
Let's ask the engineer to be sure that that happened, because I know the plans got delivered late this afternoon.
Good evening. What we had done is we had originally shown the landscaping that was removed from the island is being put around the additional perimeter of the site. So there is a condition in the recommended approval that the landscaping be added back in front along the berm. We had removed it because we thought the berm and the landscaping would be a site issue. So we took another look at it. We think we can pull the landscaping far enough back to where it won't create any site issues or Mass DOT issues as far as sight lines. So we're happy to take the plantings that were in front, place them back in front.
Entertain a motion to close the public hearing for Dollar General.
I would.
Everybody's happy with the design of the building? I'll second that.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry for your trip up here. I don't foresee you having to make the next one when we do the formal vote with our fourth member.
So you don't think we'll have to come back again?
No.
When do you anticipate that next meeting?
Second week of July. July's 1st, June 30th.
Our next scheduled meeting is July 14th.
Is there any way that you can pull that up any quicker? As stated previously, we've been delayed a considerable amount of time on this, and it's really starting to impact our construction timeframes. It's going to be extremely difficult for our construction guys to get this project built in the deadlines that we're working with because of the extended approval process.
When is your date back?
The third.
Yep, the 4th is a holiday, the 5th is July 7th, a week early. It's a Monday.
Are we celebrating the 4th on the 4th?
No, we're celebrating the 4th and we're celebrating the actual fireworks and stuff on the 5th. The 4th,
But the 7th is clear,
7th is clear.
so you and Charlie get back the Thursday and Fridays, and we can do it Monday night. That's good with everybody, so we can push it up a week on the special meeting.
Thank you.
Sorry for your inconvenience.
I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And, where are you? You're kind of in the same boat. I believe we've worked out all the, there's another letter here from Charlie. Just had it a minute ago. I probably folded it up.
June 17th, Mr. Rowley, is your last dated.
June 23rd.
It should be the 23rd.
This one here. Right there.
There we go. I know I did see the long email response that on the various points for this.
Yeah, those are between Sally and me.
Right. further questions of them,
Entertain a motion to close the public hearing?
I would.
Second that.
Any discussion, anything further?
I do have a quick question.
Before you vote, there's a couple of things I just want to inform you about if you haven't had a chance to read the letter.
Mm-hmm. I'll use the mic, sir.
We had a couple of discussions with regard to the parking.
Mm-hmm.
You may recall that the number of parking spaces was significantly over the minimum that's required under the bylaw. However, with the cross lease line agreement that they have with Walmart and so forth, and the table that's shown in your plans, there were two numbers that were represented. One was 154 parking spaces for the 4 uses that were proposed. There was the two restaurants, the retail space, and then a future retail space.
Mm-hmm.
When you added all up the total number, it came to, I think, 154 spaces, and yet 174, I believe, were shown on the plan. We discussed back and forth quite a bit whether or not it was essential to build all 174 spaces. We came to the agreement that we could probably not have to build now roughly 21 spaces, which are next to that drainage area that's closest to Route 28. In the event that they come back with a change in the desired number of spaces because a specific tenant needs that extra parking, that they would then come back to you for reconsideration. But in not having to build it now, it simply leaves a little bit more open space next to that drainage area that can be loaned and seeded temporarily at least. If it doesn't have to happen in the future, you've gained a little bit of natural ground where the runoff can go on, and we'll get some nitrogen approval out of that as well. So that's one of the things that we agreed upon. The letter from R.J. O'Connell Associates dated June 17th addresses all the other issues that were a part of a discussion. Those changes on the plans were made. I reviewed that document, and again, I'm recommending the approval of the plan subject to several conditions that I put in my June 13th letter, which you should have.
Mm-hmm.
There were some things at the tail end of the letter I suggested you incorporate. The final result of that is your decision, not mine, so they're just recommendations.
There
was, I'm sorry.
I had read the parking space count in that email that went out on the response letters. Go ahead.
Just a couple matters. The applicant is amenable to reserving the 22 parking spots. Jamie can go into that in further detail if you'd like. The only other issue contained in Mr. Rowley's letter is it's our position that the changes are insubstantial, and we don't really see that there's a need for this permit or this site plan review to be contingent on any review or revision of the Walmart site plan review, because we believe the substantial or the improvements are pretty much all on our property with the exception of subsurface water and sewer.
Mm-hmm.
But I think those are issues that have been discussed at length between the engineers and Charlie, so I leave that to your discretion.
I had hoped to get into the ZBA and have that discussion because I read their decision and I didn't see anything in it in regards to this parcel.
And I thought we went over that 2 meetings ago.
No,
I thought we went over that 2 meetings ago, Chair, Mr. Chair, there.
mm-hmm. That part of the Walmart site plan was on this board. That was in the commercial strip area, and even the entranceway, Walmart's main entranceway, was under our jurisdiction, and should the permit, I asked Dave to dig out the actual approval with the conditions for that permit, but he didn't have them out today. But any new approval will reflect or correct any of those conditions that were placed upon it when nothing was going to be built. But my opinion was that it was in our side of the demilitarized zone. So I thought we were okay with it. I just wanted to
Unless you want the Board of Appeals to give us some, some feedback.
No, I agree with the chairman.
They did have some conditions in the ZBA's decision reflecting changes in that site. What I read, I don't see it in our box tonight, but I didn't see anything, as you said, the traffic counts and approximate traffic counts were included in that. And we haven't really changed them because you don't have tenants. We don't have anything other than that to go by as far as traffic counts.
Sure.
Were you looking for the decision, Charlie?
I have a copy of it, but it's...
I may have it. Let me check.
There were a couple of other documents that were provided. One was from the Executive Office of Environmental Affairs. That basically said they had no issue with the square footage that was being presented by this document or by this proposal because it was underneath the square footage that was originally included in the Walmart permit. So that aspect of things is okay. And they did include, I believe, the traffic counts for that 18,500 square feet at the time.
That's
So
correct.
there was nothing more that was required from them. The other questions that I had was whether or not the state layouts for the modification of the Route 28 layout had been recorded. I think they're supposed to be if they haven't already been. There's also a small layout that's on the Beaton side of the road which doesn't affect this property, but that has also been taken care of. And there were a couple of other minor things which they gave me information on that satisfied my concerns and which were a part of your documentation, so.
Excuse me, all the sewer permits and everything are all, you got all your written
Yes,
approval?
there's been approval of the sewer, by the sewer department. We have not received the letter yet.
That's correct.
We will forward that to the planning board upon receipt of it, but it's all set.
The Board of Selectmen meeting last week was the vote. Just haven't seen
Okay.
a letter yet.
I saw here that you were expecting to see it a little sooner, so.
Yeah, I think June 16th was the meeting, correct?
In the work that's been done on the parcel so far is road layout corrections and updates for the new road, is that correct?
Yeah, we haven't done any work on our parcel.
But, well,
Yep.
there's been work.
Yeah, I believe that's road layout work. You're talking about the trees at the perimeter that seem to, yeah. My understanding is it has nothing to do with us. Scott, can you?
Nothing to do with us.
But it's strictly road layout.
Road,
As far as I understand, yes.
I do have a copy of the Board of Appeals, if we need it. Want to see it?
I have it, I just don't have it with me.
Okay.
But I did go over it before, and I didn't see where they had conditioned anything on this work specifically. I mean, most of their conditions were on the Walmart site. The only common area is the access driveways, both access driveways, which haven't really been changed, in my mind.
I think that's the only real issue, in that the approved plans reflected in the Walmart decision show a continuous buffer around the perimeter of the out parcel. So on the Walmart side, that has to be breached in order for the out parcel to gain access, either coming in off of Toby Road or to use the access that goes out to Cranberry Highway. So it's something that I guess you will have to consider if you grant your approval without that particular plan being changed and it's okay, that's the way you'll have to vote. But I think a special permit.
I thought it was a drainage swale.
There was, the way they contoured it, there was some drainage involved, only from a swale point of view. There weren't any structures or anything in there. But the landscaping was outside the perimeter of what they have on their property. And when you look at the driveway connections, it's a part of that continuous buffer that's between their last driveway and the out parcel boundary. So that issue has to be resolved as to what happens to
Okay.
those openings, that's all.
I'll have to relook at that, but
And just
a little bit on that. The way that I was looking at that is, you know, like you said, it was a drainage situation to keep stormwater onto the out parcel instead of flowing onto the Walmart parcel during construction as a temporary thing. Best way to perform erosion control on such clearing would be, and drainage would be to put some grass down. So what we're proposing there obviously is perimeter trees in place of seeding, I guess, which is what the changes, which I believe could be considered a beneficial change. But a minor one at that.
Well, that's the way I see it, is minor, but I suppose if they've conditioned it that way, we'll have to see if they'll accept it as a minor modification. If there's anything, we need anything else?
Not unless the board has other questions for us.
Just tempted to. No, well, I was
Mr.
gonna say,
We, I'm a little confused.
mhm.
When we get to the landscape.
Could you come forward?
I'm a little confused. We came to the meetings, improvements were suggested. We agreed to those.
Mhm.
They were part of the conditions, beef up the landscape. I just want to make the point that I don't think we've done anything that we shouldn't do or anything that we should not have done. We've used the guidance and come back.
Yeah, and I think what we've pretty much said here tonight is that you're complete, you're all set.
Good,
You know,
fine.
so,
Getting nervous that we've got.
the only discussion is, do you need to go back to ZBA and get a modification so that your plan and Walmart's plan, both decisions are consistent?
Isn't that Walmart's decision to see if ZBA wants Walmart to come back in, to call Walmart and say, you've got to fix it? I mean, they're an 800-pound gorilla. We can sing, dance, and put on a routine, but that doesn't mean they enjoy the music. So we need some help or leverage or something to call them in.
To call Walmart in?
Well,
We haven't determined that call needs to be made yet, but.
Okay, all right. On the edge of the seat.
In my opinion, George, we're going to close the public hearing tonight. Everything that we're looking for, I think we're satisfied.
Correct.
I think we made the determination a while ago that it was a minor modification, and I think we should proceed on. If it's a problem, they want us, let them come after us. Unless the applicant wants to pursue Board of Appeals input or whatever, I don't think we need it. I think we're all set.
Oh, no, I was just going to have a informal discussion with them, just so they don't, just put everything out in the open for them, that's all. Say, I'm satisfied that we've done our best with the piece of property that's under our purview.
Well, we said that from day one when the Walmart project came in, because we knew this was going to happen further on down the road. And what I'm trying to get to is, you know, we can call them in and we can drag this on for another 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. Talk about saving oak trees and everything else. And I think it's time to move on. Right, Charlie? Charlie, you're happy. We're happy.
I'm satisfied with the plan that has been prepared and adjusted and modified the way that we've talked about it. I think that the Board of Appeals could probably place this on the agenda themselves with a notice to Walmart that they propose to consider it at their regular meeting, with a letter to Walmart that
Just as a
they
courtesy.
need to look at it at least. That's a possibility, so that you don't necessarily have to get to Walmart first to say, you must come in. But I think the Board of Appeals on its own motion could possibly put that on the agenda for discussion purposes to see how they feel about it. If they feel that it's a minor thing, I think that puts it to bed, but I think they ought to have the opportunity to say so because of the way the special permit is written.
Mhm.
George is right.
George, I just have one question for clarification. I'm not sure it really applies. The ZBA is running under the 2005 zoning on that portion, correct?
Yes.
What zoning are we using for the rest of the project that's in the planning board's purview? Is that current, or is that also 2005?
I believe that's
Same.
what it's being,
Same regulations,
Okay,
2005.
thank you.
sorry, I had to write that
Okay,
paragraph before I lost it.
just want to make sure we're on par.
Yeah, as a courtesy, we'll forward this to them, but I can't see it being any more than a minor modification, just cleaning up the paperwork so the two decisions agree.
When is their next meeting, do you know?
Second and fourth.
Second and fourth Wednesdays?
Are they this? Oh, I'm thinking the other, because they meet the same night or something.
I think they meet this Wednesday. If it's not posted, Charlie, it wouldn't be this week.
Excuse me?
If they don't have it posted by now, it would not be till middle of the second week in July.
Yeah.
That'd be July 9th.
I don't think that necessarily means that this process that you have needs to stop.
No,
You're under the same constraints with this one as before, so that on July 7th, you're going to have a special meeting,
mhm.
so that things could be wrapped up then. If memory serves me, there's still a 20-day appeal period that has to run before the final approval goes with the town clerk. So in the meantime, perhaps the Board of Appeals could take a look at it, but I don't think that necessarily stops this procedure
Oh, no.
from going forward, so you can keep the clock running for S&H.
Mhm. And I didn't mean to put it out that way, that this was gonna hold you up. Your time frame will go forward. Other than having to wait till July 7th for the formal vote. Okay, there's a motion on the floor and a second to close the public hearing. There's no more discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Thank you. Thank you for your patience also.
Coming back on the second.
I do have an application that I think we'd seen before. I will, reach out to this gentleman, if you guys, I don't know how many we got. Oh, that's all his resume. Take a look at it if you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
We have guided tours to get out if you need them. Or whatever it is done, it might be dry by now.
Judge? A judge? A real judge?
A administrative judge, right? I don't remember his exact.
With administrator.
Oh, man. That means I gotta clean my act up.
think this is the latest and greatest. Dollar General.
Geez, I don't see Mario DeBono here, so we're off the hook.
He's waiting,
They've just kept,
he had to get his documents, I'm sure the bank hasn't.
yeah, Dave's just kept that on the agenda, because
He's friends with the president of the bank anyway, so.
I'm not thinking so. I'm sure it's strictly business.
No, I don't need that. The only thing I need is,
You want whole one or?
the small one's great. It's not easy.
Like, when's your air quality test?
Today,
Are you,
I don't know, it's being done right now, it's 24 hours. Then you give the canister to the engineers and it takes them a couple of weeks to test it off. But it's happening right now, so
so I should go down here and make some dust?
don't make any dust, no smoke. Does anybody know this applicant, Mr. Yetman?
I don't know who he is.
No?
What?
Does anybody, do you know Mr. Yetman?
No, not that I know of. If I know him, I don't know him.
I mean, that's not
Want
a
to
common
invite him in
name.
for an interview?
I had a dear friend named Earl Yetman, who's passed now.
You think he's passed?
No, Earl's passed.
He's definitely,
He
But-
won't be down for breakfast.
But it's not a very common name, you know,
no.
so. And I know Earl had children, so I'm thinking maybe.
I don't know why I've got all this debris in here.
So George, I think we both.
Can we
agree-
contact this guy and have him come in on the
Yeah,
7th?
Yes, please.
Have him come in. Tell him,
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Are there attendance requirements for boards in the town?
Specifically, I don't know. Floyd Allen, though.
he went outside. If you miss 3 consecutive meetings with no call, no show, I know it was in the past, you know, you would get notified whether you're gonna be active or you're saying will be, and you have to shit or get off the.
No, I didn't know. I don't remember when I was approved, if anyone ever told me that, so I just was wondering if there was an attendance requirement, a certain percentage or however.
There was a handbook passed out not too long ago about rules and regulations for appointed boards. Unfortunately, I gave mine to another member because we were short a copy, so I don't have one in front of, I don't have one in front of me that I could quote. But as you can see, absences do create problems when you,
Mr. Rowley, you're on Dollar General, can I ask a question?
Charlie?
You're gonna look at the Dollar General new plan showing everything's intact that you were looking for?
Yeah.
For the 7th?
That's why I've got an extra copy here, just to be sure.
Okay.
They did send me a letter saying they were going to do it.
I assumed.
Yeah,
So-
we had a little bit of tea on the phone about the location of that island,
Oh,
but I convinced them to move it over.
okay.
Should be okay.
Yeah.
But I will take a look between now and the 7th. I don't think this will be left.
Your comments just made me a little nervous, and I was hoping you were gonna check on your questions before.
I didn't get the approved, not the approved, the revised plans until Tuesday, last week, Tuesday or Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
They had FedExed them out, they hadn't come to the office, the planning office. And I had sent them an email about the location of the island because they had sent me a small PDF file. But it's hard to read those files on the computer, so I wanted to see the large scale plans. I made a comment about that, and they called me about it, and said that they wanted to leave it where it was, and if there wasn't any other kind of a comment that I had, could they hold it over and make the plans conditional to making that change? And I said, well, I haven't seen the final plans, I don't know if there are any other changes. So that went back and forth a little bit with the discussion. And they said, well, if that's the case, we can't deliver the plans until the Monday night of the meeting. I said, well, if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. But I'm not gonna give approval on something I haven't seen.
I was a little confused too with the front berm,
Yeah.
where they had removed the plantings and then put them elsewhere. So
I
now
don't know whether that
now
was-
they've agreed that they're gonna put plantings on the berm and they're gonna landscape the other areas as well, correct?
I don't know whether they thought they were gonna just be cute, what the
Yes.
story was.
He's pretty well,
But
pretty well
I
said.
emailed them back and said, look, I don't see any reason why you can't put the landscaping back when it was. It's a 2-foot high berm, 6 inches of width is now taken up by the curb, which you agreed to put in. So now that's just 18 inches above the curb line. You won't have any site issue problems, and I emailed them back to that effect. So they said, okay, we'll look about putting the landscaping back.
And you'll confirm that?
Yeah, I'll confirm that. That was the only issue that was really left.
In the grand scheme of a scheme of a site plan, it's not a big deal, but
No, it's not a big deal.
But
It's
every-
one of those things that, landscaping's gotta be maintained and so forth. That's a comment that I did put in my letter, making sure that,
Hmm?
it does get maintained in a
Mhm.
proper manner, as all landscaping should once it's put in. That was the only issue that really amounted to anything. We got squared away.
well, they at a previous meeting they seemed to get very tight-fisted about change,
Yeah.
and I could see they've got a budget to meet, but I think you can kind of overstate it a
It's
little.
fine to have a budget, but at the same token, they should realize that there's things that have to be done that are according to the regulation.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they happen to represent the franchise or they're a big outfit, so what?
I'm
Still
sure
gotta meet the
other-
regulation.
Well,
I'm
beyond-
sure other sites cost them a lot more money.
Beyond the regulation, it has to be aesthetically pleasing. At least that's my opinion.
Mike,
Yeah,
you've been saying that building is butt ugly from day one.
You know what you could do is put a flame paint job on it.
No, I mean, this is a perfect example. Back at a preliminary meeting before they even came in front of the board, they were told if you got another plan, bring it forward. They do have other plans, but they didn't present any. So. Hey, but they're looking at sponsoring a NASCAR team, so
They
they're
are?
gonna take over for
Yeah.
Home Depot.
Costs a lot of money.
Okay.
see you on the 7th.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank- Take care, Charlie.
Okay. I'm not sure whose briefcase this is, but somebody left it.
See if there's any money in it. No, you better not. Take it outside, there might be a bomb in it.
No, I'm not gonna leave it.
Is that where Richard Serkey was sitting?
It says IRS, it might be.
That says ours is Richard Serkey.
I will check.
I might have his number.
Hold it hostage, Ellen.
Didn't realize it's recent.
Is it ticking?
Not yet.
I have his number written down somewhere. It's not on my phone. I think it's written down in the plan.
I'm sure there's a card in the briefcase.
I don't have his personal number, so I can't call him.
I don't either.
It's like an email.
It should be on the paperwork for, at least $80 worth. It should be the paperwork.
Does he work local?
Yeah, they're over, Plymouth somewhere.
What's the name of the firm?
Serkey with a whole bunch of those.
Check for a business card like in his sleeve.
I'm looking, Lawyers Weekly, it's gotta be him.
Yeah.
If there's any powder, leave it alone. If there's a gun in there, don't touch it.
There's no gun.
Only number I have here is for ADM.
Does anybody have Jim's, Mr. Kane's phone number?
Richard Serkey. I've got his email address or something, can email him.
There's no business cards there anyway?
No, there's no business cards in here.
You Probably was in a state of
He'll
shock.
remember.
I see his phone charges.
He'll remember.
The question came up when you were out of the room, Alan, about attendance for boards. Are you
Other
Familiar with-
regulations?
Yeah, the only regulation that we have, that the board
want
of,
to use the mic?
I'm sorry, the only regulation that the Board of Selectmen have that's listed in the policies is if someone misses 3 or more meetings in a row without, a reason, this one's closed now. Oh, well. The committee can, either vote or the chairman could send a letter to the board asking the person to be removed if they so felt fit. If they miss too many meetings overall and they're really not approved, same reason there too.
Mhm.
But you'd have to make that decision. Anybody got a smartphone? Actually, this doesn't have his email address on this.
Other items on the agenda, Mr. Chairman?
I do have his email address if you want to
If
try
there's
that.
anything further on there.
So Mr. Yetman's gonna be invited in. Do we have other applicants?
Not that I know of.
I can always decide and apply.
And how,
Come back again.
how do you solicit
I will
applicants?
make tomorrow night's meeting, I will
Public service announcement.
make a notice that there's an opening, plus we're supposed to,
Public service now?
yeah, and if George will make, get a
Well, to
hold of,
those of you at home that are watching,
yeah, if you make a request to Janet at the selectman's office, send her an email saying you have that opening, and we'll update the listing on the town website, because right now it doesn't show an opening.
We have a
well, I had asked him for this gentleman's application, but I would think they would send along any that were still pending.
And Mr. Chairman, how are you gonna confirm our meeting for the 7th? You need to reach out to Mr. Kluber?
Yeah. I will have to talk to Charlie and see, I mean,
First, you gotta find out whether or not he can, with Claire or not, and maybe even Rich Bowman, whether or not he's actually qualified, whether his term officially ends 6:30, whether he can extend over.
I can, do whatever you need before I leave Wednesday, if need be.
Won't work.
unfortunately, we don't have time to post anything before Wednesday. But I will, work this out with the appointing authority tomorrow night. If, other than that, if we can't put it together, then I would say that we have to vote out of necessity and
Here's my cell number while I'm away, if you could call me, just to let me know what you need me to do while I'm away.
do you need anybody to maintain your vehicles, charge batteries?
I already
rotate
tried
tires?
that, it didn't work.
No, Mr. Baptiste.
well, you wanna do whole shots with the Willies? See it.
Have you seen this Willis?
942?
3477.
The ink smudged when he passed it to
Oh.
me. It's right here anyway.
You want me to drop your 55 off at the upholstery shop?
No.
Change the oil?
No.
Rotate the tires?
No.
All right, if there's nothing further this evening,
Entertain a
Alan?
motion to adjourn?
Do you want to continue anything with Serpent, any program with the funds that are available
this for the coming year?
this year right now? It's probably going to be late to get anything done.
Yeah,
Alan,
there are a couple of things we could attack, that I don't think would take a lot of time up, but we could clean up some of the,
Well, whatever it is, you're registered now, under the planning board, so you can apply for that money, use of that money. Should be a substantial amount still left, I think.
where are we with the planner?
Hmm?
Where are we with the planner?
Dave Bichette,
Dave Chester planner?
acting planner. We can't do anything till after the July 1st anyways. We were on a hiring freeze and expense freeze, et cetera. We're still under the edict of the DOR to cut our expenses by $500,000.
It's July 1st, that's only next week.
I know. They'll have to resubmit, an RFP for the planner again, too.
So the planner that if you've interviewed anybody prior, they're gonna,
It's been so long now, I don't think anything is applicable. It's been too long, I think.
entertain a motion to adjourn?
I would.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
We're gonna have to, we're gonna have to wake up Bob, he's probably sleeping on the other side of the wall. Bob, you awake?
We could have had Charlie apply, appoint him, and then he could resign.
I asked